Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of the Python Scrapy Beginner series. So in part 1 we looked at how to build a basic spider that would scrape data from a chocolate e-commerce website. In part 2 we're going to deal with different strategies to deal with edge cases, how we can organize our data a bit better to make it easier for us to actually code our spider, how we can pre-process data, and how we can process data using Scrapy Item Pipelines. So a lot of that sounds complicated, but we're going to use these Scrapy Item Loaders and Scrapy Pipelines to get rid of things like if the item is sold out, we need to maybe remove that item. If we want to, for example, convert a price from pounds to dollars, if we want to add a value-added tax or a sales tax. So there's lots of different small issues like this which will come up when you're scraping data, and you need to be able to handle those different edge cases. So we're going to look at how we can do that now. So we're going to continue on from where we left off part 1. If you are just joining us for part 2, we have the code available in the description below, so you can just go into the video description and go to our GitHub and download the code and join us from this section. So we are now going to just organize our current spider code a little better using Scrapy items. So to do that, Scrapy has already automatically generated an items.py file, and this is what we're going to use to define our chocolate scraper item, so the item that our spider is scraping. So Scrapy's already created one here for name, which we have, so we can already use that one. We're going to also add in one for price, and we're going to add one in for URL as well, as these are the three things we're currently scraping from the chocolate.co.uk website. Okay, so we have that defined. We're actually going to just change the name. We're going to call it chocolate product, just to make it a little simpler. And now we're going to import this into our spider. So up the top, we want to say from chocolate scraper dot items, and then import chocolate product. Perfect. So we can save that, and then we're going to go and actually organize our items. So instead of getting everything to just yield like this, we're going to first put everything into the item, and then we're going to yield the item. So we're just going to first say that our product item is equal to chocolate product, and then we're going to remove the yield for a second. We're going to say we want to yield the product item that we just created, and then we need to fill this product item with the name, the price, and the URL. So it's as simple as just saying product item is equal to what we get back from the product.css with the CSS selector and the get. So what this returns will get put into the product item name, and that gets then returned together when we say yield product item. So we just need to do the same thing for price and for URL. And just change these to equals. Save that, and we're done. So we've just tidied that up a little bit so everything is properly defined. We know exactly what are the types of data that we're saving, and then actually put those into the right places, if you like. Great. Now that we have our Scrapy item defined, we're going to look at how we can use Scrapy Item Loaders. And we're going to use the Scrapy Item Loaders to do two things. One, to remove the pound sign from the price. And two, we're going to convert the relative URLs that we've been scraping so far, and we're going to convert them into the full URL, which includes the https www.chocolate.co.uk and then the rest of the URL. So that's a very good use case to use item loaders for. There's several other things you can do with item loaders. For example, convert strings to integers. You can replace values, do unit conversions, remove trailing characters. There's lots of different things you can use item loaders for. But in our case, we're just going to stick to these two examples. So first, what we need to do is we need to create an item loaders.py file. So we're going to do that now. Just create a new file and call it item loaders.py. That's perfect. And in here, we're going to create a class called chocolate product loader. And we're going to load in item loader, and we're going to import that from Scrapy. So we just need to do from Scrapy.loader import item loader. Perfect. Okay, so now we're just going to write a price in and the URL in. So that's basically saying when you see price come in, apply this next function to it. So we're going to start with price in is equal to, and we're going to be using map compose for this. And we're going to say lambda x for the item. And then what we want to do on this is we want to run the split function, and where you see the pound sign, we're just going to remove the pound sign. As you can see, it's giving out that map compose that we don't have it, so we're just going to import that in as well from item loaders. It's an item loader processor, which is where we'll be importing it from. So we're going to import map compose. Brilliant. And we're also going to import what we need for the next line. Oh no, for the line above it, we're going to import take first. And that's just to cover the default output processor, which we just need to get everything running correctly. Okay, so we have that, and the last line is just the URL in, and that is going to be also using map compose, and we're going to do the same as above, lambda x, and what we're just going to do is say we want https www.chocolate.co.uk, and then we're just going to say append that to x, which is the URL that will be coming in. So it's as simple as that. We can save that, and now we have our item and our item loader. So now we just need to tell our item to use this item loader. So we're going to go back to our code. Now in our Spider code, the next thing we need to do is import the chocolate product loader from our item loaders. So chocolate product loader, and it's here, perfect. So now we're going to actually implement this. Okay, we're going to create a variable called chocolate, and we're going to say It's a chocolate product loader, and we're going to pass in the item, which is going to be a chocolate product. And we're going to pass in the selector, which is going to be the product. So as you can see, we have product here, which is being passed in, and we have chocolate product, which is being imported in here and passed in here. So we're actually going to get rid of this line here because we're not going to be using that anymore, and we're going to call our product item just chocolate. Perfect. And the very last step is just to say that we need to tell it to load the item when we're yielding. So load item. And the other thing we need to do, instead of just assigning it like this, we're going to actually be using another type of function. So it's going to be add CSS. So add CSS. CSS, and then we're going to pass in the name, and instead of having product.css, we're going to actually just be passing in the raw CSS selectors there. So again, we're just doing the same thing for the next 3 lines, just because we're going to be using this new chocolate product loader. So it's quite simple. So since this line is a little long, I'm just going to copy and paste it in and show you guys what's going on with it. So we have our price being passed in as the first piece here. Then we've got the span.price, which is the main CSS selector that we'll be looking for the price. And then we've got re here, and we're passing in the stuff we want to replace. We've got span, price, the whole part that we had earlier, and instead we're going to be saying that we want to take everything out except for what is in this last part here. So that's what the dot star is for. So it's very useful to know that too. Okay. We've got the name, the price, the URL, everything seems to be correct. And now we can try running our spider again and see what happens. We can do again just a Scrapy crawl chocolate spider. And everything seems to be running correctly. And now let's see if our changes with the item loader took effect. So here we've got the URL, which now has the proper full URL. So we have the first part, https www.chocolate.co.uk, which is being pre-appended to the products and the product name section. So that's working correctly. And if we find someone with the price, yeah, so here the price no longer has the pound sign in front of it, so that's also correct. So it seems like our item loader is working correctly, which is great. So you just have to adapt your item loader to whatever changes you need to make to your specific situation. But here we wanted to remove the pound sign from the price and to make it the proper URL, and that's worked perfectly. Okay, so now that we know that that works, we can move on to looking at the Scrapy Item Pipelines. And what we're going to do for this, to show you how it works, is we're going to convert the price from a string to a float, and we're going to convert the price from British pounds to dollars, just using a conversion. And we're also going to drop items that have no price that are sold out. And we're going to check if an item is a duplicate as well, because that's something that also comes up a lot. So we've got 4 little use cases there that we're going to actually implement and see how we can use the item pipelines to get that to work correctly. We're going to start off first by converting the price from pounds to dollars. So to do that, we're going to go into our pipelines file here, and this is where the pipelines live, and we're going to create a new class, and we're going to call it price to USD pipeline. And in here, we're going to just have the rate. So GBP to USD rate is equal to, we're just going to do an arbitrary rate. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to say that 1 British pound is equal to 1.3 US dollars. And then we're going to create a function inside this class called process item. As you can see in the above class that was created automatically, it also has process item. So process item is a function that is in every one of these pipelines that we create. So we also need to have self item and spider being passed in. And now we're going to add our adapter. So adapter is equal to item adapter. Pass in item to that. It's already being imported up here, so that's fine. And then we're going to say, okay, if the adapter dot get price, if we get a price being passed in, then we run what we need to run to convert it. So we're first going to convert the price from a string into a float. So we're just going to say float price is equal to float, and then adapter price. Okay, so we have our float price, and now we're going to multiply the float price by the rate up here, and then pass that back into our adapter price. So we're going to say adapter price, the float price, multiplied by self dot, and then the rate. And we're just going to return the item, and we just are going to have an else clause to say we're going to raise a drop item exception, which is going to just say missing price in this item. So that just lets us know if there's an item missing, and we need to import drop item. So we're just going to quickly do that. So from scrapy.exceptions import drop item. Perfect. Okay, so next let's move on to removing duplicates. So to do that, we are again going to create a second class, and we can do that underneath here. So we're going to call the next class duplicates pipeline. A nice easy name. Okay, for this we're going to first start off with an init function to begin with, and we're just going to say we're just going to use this to keep track of the names that have already been processed. So the names of the different chocolates that we're scraping currently at the moment. So we're just going to say that self.namescene is a set. And next, let's do a process item. And again, just self item spider. We're going to again have our adapter is equal to item adapter, like we had above, passing an item. And we're going to say if the adapter name is in the self.nameScene. Actually, we're just going to make that names with an S. Names scene makes more sense. Basically, if we've seen the name already, we're just going to raise an exception. So we're going to say raise another drop item exception. And this time saying duplicate item found, and say item are perfect. Have I missed anything? I don't think so. Else we're going to say add it to the set, basically. Name scene dot add adapter name and return the item if we don't have it already. Okay, so we can save that, and if everything has worked correctly, it shouldn't give us an error. Next, let's actually enable our pipelines, because if we run our spider right now, it's actually not going to take these pipelines that we've just created into account. So to do that, we need to go to our settings.py file. And in here, we're going to add our item pipelines. So to do that, we just need to scroll down and find where we have item pipelines. So this is, again, pre-generated by Scrapy when we create the project initially. And what we want to do is, instead of just a default in here, we're going to take out this chocolate scraper pipeline because we're not using that. We're going to put in our price to USD pipeline. And we're going to also copy that line and put in a second one, which is going to be our duplicates pipeline. So it's quicker to just copy and paste the name. I might just copy and paste the price to USD pipeline name as well, in case I spelled something incorrectly. Okay, seems fine. And the last thing to do here is just change the number here. So this number just corresponds to which order that these pipelines are going to be running. So you can think of a pipeline as two pipes joined together. So the items are going to come in, they're going to go into the price to USD pipeline first because it's the smaller number, and then they're going to go into the duplicates pipeline because it's the next biggest number. So the smallest number has the first priority. So now I think we can try and run our Scrapy crawl chocolate spider again. Okay, so there didn't seem to be any errors. So item script count is 58, item drop count is 29. So there's 29 items there that were duplicates according to Scrapy, or they were missing a price, which is also a possibility. So as we can see, the prices do look like they've changed, which is good. And as we can see, they're not a string either because there's no quotation marks. So that worked just as we wanted. So we learned how to use item loaders and item pipelines in this tutorial. So if you have any other questions surrounding item loaders or item pipelines or any other use cases you might like to see, just drop us a comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you or to make a video on it. The next part of our series is we're going to be looking at how we can store data. So either storing data as a file in an S3 bucket, storing data in a database, storing data into several different output formats. We've done a little bit of that already in part 1, but we're going to be covering all the different storage methods in the next part 3 of our series. So see you then, guys. Thanks.